Well, I started the first track, which isn't necessarily #1 on the album, but I started working on the first track even maybe when Whitewater Bloom was in the process, so that was 2016, and the reason why I didn't incorporate it in Whitewater Bloom was because I didn't feel as if it fit the theme. I try and make everything I put out when it's a complete album or EP, I try and make it a theme. So technically I've been working on the album for over a year, between 1 and 2 years really, and solidly for a good year, I'd say. Really mood and feeling inspired corners. Whenever I write music, it's always come from a certain emotion or event that's happened in my life. So if I feel inspired due to something, it doesn't have to be a positive thing, it could be a negative thing, I will then transpose my emotions into sound, and I guess projects were just building up on my audio recording software, and I had the idea to just go ahead and make a full album, and I was quite inspired at the time when it clicked that I could make another album, so I just kind of continuously made more and more tracks as it flowed naturally, and I wanted to kind of do something different with it. I learnt new production techniques that I really wanted to incorporate, and I wanted to experiment a bit more with sound design, even how my guitar playing had developed, because I always try and incorporate my guitar within my tracks, so everything really just kind of inspired the album from a technical standpoint and an emotional point of view. It just came together and I was like, this needs to happen, I need to make an album. How much goes into making my style of music? A lot. As I said in the previous question, in terms of how my guitar playing had developed, right there, that's one instrument that goes into it, so I have to record riffs, come up with the riffs, record them, then I use synthesizers and design my own sounds using different plugins such as Massive, Serum and Omnisphere. I then either make my own vocals or use other people's, chop them up, sample them, experiment with them, transpose them, add a ton of effects. Because of my music being very ambient and atmospheric, there's so many effects that I apply to each layer of music, so there's a lot of mixing that is involved in order to try and not make it sound so muddy, because it's really easy when you're using a lot of reverb and delay etc. to make sounds become muddy, so I have to focus a lot on the mix to make it as clear as possible whilst still maintaining the ambience, dynamics and emotion that's in my music, but I need that to be clear, so a lot has to go into the mix. I don't like pigeonholing music, so really my music's just music, and however one interprets it is good enough for me, so I don't put it into a category. iTunes describes it as down-tempo, other people would describe it as ambient. I often refer to it as ambient just as in the whole atmospheric thing, but it isn't a certain genre, it's just music, it's just what I like to create, it's me. So, if I had to say one word for describing my music, it's Axel. At a very young age, because I've been playing guitar for as long as I can remember, I was into metal for God knows how long, and I used to just sit there at home kind of revising Tool riffs. Tool are a great inspiration for my guitar playing, and then after that I later got into production. A friend showed me Ableton, I got into Ableton, which is what I use now, and really everything just took off from there. I discovered ambient music. Again, I say ambient as a whole, but I really do think that each musician has their own style, so I hate pigeonholing things, but that's really how it came about, and the more genres I discovered, the more artists I discovered, the more I was inspired really, because I found that I was connecting to a lot of these musicians and the work that they put out, so it's just been a gradual thing. I think as time goes on I get more and more passionate about music. I hope that it takes me in a direction of progression, so I hope that it reaches more people as the future carries forward, and I hope that I'm able to perform it live, as I haven't done that yet, and I hope that I'm able to score films and more documentaries, TV, whatever else really. I'd love to branch out into all different directions of the music industry and see where that can take me. I think it depends on one's mood at the time when listening to a track. I recently did a competition, some of you may know, where some people could have early access to some of the tracks based on the tweet that I put out, and some of their feedback was that they felt hopeful listening to certain tracks, whereas other people felt more kind of like thought-provoked and maybe a bit, you know, enhance their emotions if it's sad. Like for me, I can listen to a song during one emotion if I'm sad, and it will enhance that emotion. It will send me into a deep state of thought. And then if I'm happy, that same track may feel more uplifting to me. So it really depends on how they're feeling at the time, but in general I just hope that they can feel inspired from it. I hope that it chooses to speak to them in some form, and I hope that they can connect with it in whatever way. Well, there were quite a few names that I was going to decide from. Corners came about because I thought it was the most snappy one, and it was kind of eye-catching, it's to the point, and the meaning behind it really for me is that corners, like as I visualise a corner, you kind of don't see what's coming round the corner, you don't see what's coming round the bend, so it's kind of like waiting for the unexpected, and different corners can take you to different places. The album, in my opinion, is quite dynamic. It's my biggest project to date, so it represents that well. It's just going from corner to corner and just leading you to wherever really, and following that journey. So that's how that name came about. I wouldn't say I have a favourite track per se. There's definitely ones that have kind of a more emotional, impactful meaning to me, such as the track Maisie, as that's not many people really know about it, but it's to do with an animal that passed away that I absolutely adored, my best friend's cat, and she was the reason why I'm so passionate about cats now. Before that, I didn't really care too much about animals, but she really got me thinking, and she was kind of like a spiritual being in terms of her mannerisms and her characteristics, and how she spoke to me, like mainly through her eyes, and how she acted when she was alive. So yeah, that track's about her, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favourite track, but it's definitely one that can stick out when someone asks me about a track on the album. So yeah, but I don't have a favourite. They all mean something. Really, I developed it through time, naturally, through discovering other artists, through being inspired from other artists. As time goes on, music progresses generally, so I naturally progress, and so long as I keep practicing, I'm going to develop as a player. And as I said, like on the other question, I was learning new music production techniques, so I'm kind of just there sitting on YouTube researching what I can do better as a producer, and I'll apply that to my own music, and that's how I developed. What got me into writing the music that I do now is artists that arguably could fit into the same category as me, such as Stumblime, Holy Other, Owlsy. There are a ton out there. Azalea, who I've collaborated with. There's tons, the list goes on. Chasing Dreams, whose name is Dario Lupo, he's got a few aliases. Another friend, John Maynard, who has an alias called Solar Order. There's a lot who inspire me, so all those artists plus many more have really got me into making the music that I do now. I just try and add my own take to it, and that's really it. But I found that I connected with that music more, so that's why I'm making the music that I do now. That down-tempo stuff, the atmospheric type of music is what I connect with, because it takes me into another world, and it's a good escape for me. It's helped me in many different ways, so it's very easy for me to kind of transpose my emotions through that type of sound as well. It just flows very naturally. I would love to collaborate with Stumblime. Owlsy is on the list, that would be a dream. Holy Other, if I ever got the chance, definitely Holy Other. In terms of more mainstream artists who I find use a lot of ambience in their tracks, I would love to do something with Post Malone. I would love to do something with The Weeknd, as their tracks for me definitely hold a lot of kind of melody and space to them, and I think I could definitely like bring something cool to that, and I love their music in general, so they're two artists that everyone should know that I would love to collab with as well. I would love to perform live, it's just getting the right idea. I don't want it to just be a DJ set where I play my music and I'm there behind the deck twisting a few knobs. I want to get it right, so I want to envision it and I want to see it, and by that I mean like I'd want to bring something new to it, so maybe take out the guitar and play the guitar live, so replace all the guitar elements with live guitar. I want it to be like an experience, so I'd want a projector behind me, I'd want visuals, I could have vocals. I just want it to be like a really visual experience, as well as the sound being the primary thing that takes everyone into a different world. I'd love visuals to accompany it. I'd love it to be an all-round just experience for someone that takes it to a whole different level. I'd love it to be something new. I think I'm going to keep growing it out. At least I'm going to keep growing the top out and then see where that takes me. I did kind of have a little vision of me having dreadlocks, just keeping the sides shaved and then maybe dreading the top, and as it gets longer just going into full dreads, and when I tie it back you can see the shaved sides. So maybe, in terms of colour I don't know, could have blonde dreads, I might dye it brown next, might go back to black, I don't know, but I'll experiment with it as something new. I do kind of miss my afro, but I'm just embracing the change and floating with it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that interview. Thought I'd mix things up a bit, give you all an insight into what went into making my album Corners. Again, it comes out 21st of this month, so not long at all. It's going to be released on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Tidal, Deezer, you name it, it will be there. It will be on my Bandcamp, loads of other sites, so it's accessible everywhere. Hope you're going to enjoy it. I might do a video soon where you guys can send me some questions and I'll do a proper Q&A. So I haven't actually done one of those yet, so it'll be something a bit different, and as I said, you guys can just send me in your questions and I'll try and answer them for a new video. Apart from that, hopefully new content coming soon. Hope you're all doing well, and take care guys. 21st of February, Corners. Let me know what you think.